Hello, and welcome to Pulse Social's weekly news bulletin. I'm your host, the sports journalism intern, Edward Dexter. This week, we will be focusing on women in sports. International Women's Day is a chance for us to highlight the challenges women in sports face today. I will be looking into what has gone wrong in women's football and what can be done to amend it. We will also explore the link between sports activity and women's mental health. In my podcast, I spoke to Dani Peveler, a prominent businesswoman, avid footballer and globetrotter, about her experiences as a sportswoman at home and abroad. International Women's Day, on the 8th of March each year, is an opportunity for women to be championed in all fields. The UN states that it will take another 130 years for women to reach parity in the highest decision-making roles. How can we challenge this shocking revelation? How can women in sports and beyond be encouraged to seek equality with their male peers? How can the role of women in sports change for the better? A recent BBC report stated that personal relationships between players and coaches in women's football are inappropriate because they create a power imbalance that can lead to the potential abuse of players. These revelations about prevailing attitude of objectification of sportswomen are indicative of a wider issue in the footballing world. Alex Colvin, who works in player relations at Global Union FIFPro, has written a PhD on the welfare of women football players. She's calling for an improvement in protection for female footballers. She wants to see very clear framework and guidelines about what constitutes transgression, what constitutes overstepping the mark. Colvin wants to see action from the FA. She stated that, "I think it would be fruitful for the FA to publish documents similar to that of the National Women's Soccer League in America, to give an indication that they are taking player abuses seriously. Maybe they already exist, but I haven't seen them published in the media in the same way as the National Women's Soccer League." It is important for us to note the relationship between female sports participation and an improvement in mental health. A report of 31 studies by the BMC Public Health Centre concluded that higher physical activity is associated with higher well-being, quality of life, as well as lower depressive symptoms, anxiety and stress. And moreover, that women are more susceptible to mental health changes as a result of physical activity. We see here how it is paramount for women to be encouraged to take up some form of physical activity. We all have a duty on the smallest personal level to encourage our female friends to get engaged and get active, to support and champion their rightful place in football and beyond. In my podcast with Dani Peveler, a member of London Lionesses Football Club, a professional businesswoman and avid world traveller, we discussed the sense of inclusivity she felt with the Lions, how a sense of sisterhood improved her performance on and off the pitch, and indeed the positive effect that sporting activity has on her mental health. Dani spoke about her background and how in her home country of Bulgaria, she often felt excluded from football simply due to her gender. We also discussed her role in the Tekball World Championship, in which she represented Bulgaria as a sports commentator. That's all we have time for on this Pulse Social news bulletin.